Hi guys, so today I'm so excited to have this review for you guys. It's the Heavenly Cakepop roller. It will roll about 21 cake pop balls for you in just seconds. So it's something I've been looking forward to. I'm just like so excited that it's even here. I'm just like beyond, you don't even know. So I do want to show you real quick how it came packaged. So I'm going to unbox it really quickly to show you the item itself, and then we're obviously going to use it. But this is the main thing, the Heavenly Cakepop roller, and it is designed by Jennifer. It appears that she's a baker and things like this, and so she created this to help her create uniform cake pops. So what's really cool about it is, again, it makes so many at one time, designed here in the US, made in the US, and I want to show you her website real quickly, just so that you can kind of have an idea of what's on there. Amazing website. When you first go on, she has gonna have her store here, and as you can see, she has different items there with sealing, packaging items, things like that. The Easy Roller itself is right here. Currently, that's in pricing $99.99. She also has a mini one, so if you're just kind of a hobbyist and you're doing that, you can pick up the mini roller. I believe it makes 9 at a time. That one's $49.99 currently. And there's insert bundles. So I'm going to show you what it looks like, and then we'll talk about these inserts. But there are inserts to make different size cake pops, and then also one to make a cupcake insert, which I requested and I have here, so I'm really excited to try that one out. So she also has a blog on here, which is great because she has tons of recipes or different ways to decorate your cake pops. So I'll have the links obviously for the cake pop roller and for her blog. But I want to show you this. It's so cute, and if you go back in her timeline and everything, you can see the progression of what it used to look like. I mean, even the instructions still have a little picture of what the roller looked like. It had handles before. But anyhow, so what it comes with is a frame, and you're going to use this to help you get the correct depth or height and length and everything of the cake pop dough, okay, which is basically just your baked cake box mix or whatever it is that you like to use if you have your own recipe, but generally use just a prepackaged mix. And so there's instructions here. And then the roller itself is right here, packaged really nicely. Look how cute this is. I just want to show the different details. So it's kind of grippy on the sides as you use it. There's this little guy here that you're going to use. We'll talk about that in a minute. So on the top, Easy HCP roller, Heavenly Cake Pop roller. And this should just come right up. And so let me talk about this for a second. Have you ever worked with clay and maybe you have a bead roller or something like that? That's what this reminds me of. I have something like that whenever I worked with polymer clay, and you just kind of roll it back and forth after you put your clay in there. So that's basically what you're gonna do. You're gonna put your dough in here, you're gonna portion it out, and then you're gonna roll this, push it back and forth, and that's gonna make the cake pops roll around and become a circle or a cupcake shape is what they have. So just real quickly to show you, there's different grooves. These grooves on the top coordinate with the bottom. These areas here touch each other, and that's how you cut and portion the dough. So we'll talk about that in just a minute when we actually get going. It has kind of a little bit of a grainy feel to kind of grip that dough, I suppose. And this is all fully washable, so you can take this apart and wash everything. So there's your top, your base, and again, this is to take it apart so you can change out the things. And it has a nice little pads at the bottom to keep that together there on your table, should I say. And the cupcake insert, so this comes with, I believe, a 1.5 inch insert. So it's basically your standard cake pop size or amount. She has a smaller one, and then the cupcake insert. So this is the cupcake insert. This one came with its own guides also, so as you can see, it's a little bit thinner. Maybe you can see from the original ones here. So the amount of dough or the height of it's going to be a little bit different. So it does come with its separate guides, which we will use in just a minute. Again, instructions, you have your frame, your guides, and then this is the insert to make the cupcake. Now, as you can see, there's your cupcake shape. So as you roll it, you're going back and forth, that little area becomes the little top, you know, of the cupcake, and then a square, but it's not really square, obviously. When you're done with it, it's gonna be round at the bottom. So really cute. So super cute. I'm really looking forward to using this. I think today, just for a basic tutorial, I'm gonna show you how to use the round insert, just the way it is. And then upcoming, we'll show you how to use the cupcake, because I'm just really excited to try that out. So I'm going to go to my kitchen and bake up some cakes. I'll probably do a couple of them just to try them out, because I'm not sure exactly, you know, how, if I'm gonna add a little, frosting to it, or if it's just going to be, you know, mixed up in my food processor. There's lots of different ways to make cake pop dough. You can smash it up with your hands. For this, you know, Jennifer recommends to go ahead and use the food processor. I have seen people that professionally make cake pops who use a steaming hot cake right out of the oven. They put it in a mixer and let that break it up, or you can put it in the freezer and then use your food processor to grind it up. I think Jennifer just says, you know, your cooled cake, put it into the food processor. So some people add a little frosting, some people don't. So I'm going to say what Jennifer says, because she would know her machine best, and we'll try it out and we'll go from there. Okay guys, while the cake is baking, I'm going to go ahead and wash everything just to get started for the first time. So what you can do is just take this, just give it a little turn there, so that this can come away from the base here. I'm gonna wash all these pieces, and the same thing with the bottom one, and then I'll just reassemble it, just put it back together and screw that. Sorry, so I'll just put it all back together once it's washed, and just use that same really nice locking mechanism there to screw that back in. Really nice and easy to use, like the handle is nice and thick. So just get it all washed up, and I'll just put it all back together and we'll get started. Okay guys, I'm all ready to make our dough. So I've already baked up this chocolate fudge super moist cake mix. I'll probably be using half a box at a time, or half the 13 by 9 cake that I baked up, because I have a very small food processor. I also did this just to practice. I had tried out doing a white cake mix with my mixer with a paddle attachment while it's still warm, and that worked out really well too, but I had to really let the dough cool down even after I kind of worked with it. Okay, so you always want to have it about room temperature or chilled a little bit, which I had asked the gal I'm talking with over there at Heavenly Cakepops, and she recommended a little bit of chilling, so before you work with the dough in the cake pop maker. So it does work with warm cake, but again, cool it down. So I'm going to be using milk chocolate frosting, because I had this ready to go, so I'll have that ready and open when I need it. And here is the cake, and I just broke it up in pieces and put it in here. I baked it this morning. It's only been a couple hours, so I have that there. And I guess I'll be using about half of that to put into my little food processor. So I'm just gonna grab some of this. Since I'm gonna be using this as a gift, I'm going to be wearing gloves. A lot of times I just use my bare hands because for my kids, but so I'm just gonna take pieces of the cake. And this cake baked up really nice. There's like no hard edges. Even if there were, you could still kind of put them in there, but I'm gonna get in as much as I can, kind of pack it in there a little bit. Not too much. Yeah, this machine will take probably about a quarter at a time, actually. So there's that. I'm going to put the lid on here. And this first time, I'm just going to pulse it a few times, because then I'm going to add in some of the frosting. If you don't want to use frosting, you don't have to. If your cake is really moist, you don't need to, but I am going to do that. And then since it's only about a quarter of the cake, I'm only going to use maybe a teaspoon of frosting, maybe a little bit less. So I'm just going to pulse this until it starts making crumbs, which it already is. There's my little ninja, pretty good, as you can see. Hopefully you can see that. It's already pretty crummy there. I'm gonna add in, like I said, just about a teaspoon or so of frosting. Put the lid back on. And this time, well, I'll just keep pulsing. And I'm going to keep holding that down until it starts kind of clumping together and making one kind of solid piece. So I just want to show you, as it's becoming one, not really one solid piece, but just kind of clumping together, it'll start getting harder and harder for this thing to work. It's kind of moving, and it's not really little piece anymore. So let's check it out. And what you can do is grab some and squeeze it, and look at that. So that's pretty much what your dough wants to look like. It's like Play-Doh, a little bit softer even. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a couple batches of this, obviously, because I have to do it in little batches at a time. But I'll be right back once it's all incorporated and done. Okay, well, that didn't take too long, but you can see it's all little pieces because of the different batches. So I'm just gonna mix this together. So you guys need to get better gloves. These are so loose, and I keep forgetting to buy more gloves. So anyway, look at that, so nice. So I'm gonna work with this until it becomes one nice ball, and then we're going to kind of squeeze it because you still want to get the air out of it. What Jennifer was saying is that basically when you're making a cake pop ball, you are squeezing the air out of it yourself, right? As you're kind of working with it. So before you want to massage it all at once, basically to get that air out so that you can put it in your little cake pop roller and your cake pop won't fall apart, okay? So this is pretty good actually, really nice consistency. So I'm gonna work with this and I'm gonna put it in the fridge just to chill it for a little bit, okay? So I'm gonna cover it, I want it to start drying out, but just long enough to get it a little bit stiffer, okay? And then we will roll it out and get cake popping. Okay guys, it's all chilled. Just about 15 minutes, not too long. Now you're gonna put together your frame, and you can put it together for as much dough as you have. Maybe your batch is a little bit smaller, a little bit more. So I made it a little bit wider, and all you do is just clip in the pieces. And I'm trying to make it so that they're all the same. So whatever I did here, I did on these other sides, okay? So it's about the same dimensions. So really quickly, I'm just gonna take this guy. Just work with it again. And we're gonna start down in one area here. So this is quite a bit, so what's gonna happen is it's gonna go off the other side, and that's fine. But I'm gonna start kind of tucking it in here. And like I said, I've only done this like once or twice before as I kind of practice with it, so we'll see what happens. I'm gonna take my rolling pin, which I have this Silpat pin that's just kind of smooth. I also have like a French rolling pin, but this one is a Wilton one, so it's very nice and straight towards the whole middle. I know sometimes French pins have like a divot there, but anyway. So I'm gonna try to do this where the camera angle where it is, and we'll see what happens. So I'm pushing it obviously towards the other side. And it is gonna open up a little bit, bow out a little bit, but that's what you want. So I don't have a problem with that. I'm gonna do it again because like I said, it's a weird angle and I wanna get this. So all this little extra stuff, you don't try to put this back in, okay? You just get rid of it. So whatever is on the sides, you're not gonna try to add that back in. You can probably try to use it again when you actually just try to roll it again in here, but don't add it right now. So that's the little guy there. Oop, that little piece might not be good, yeah. Leave it there. But anyway, I'm gonna take away the frame and I'm gonna bring over our roller. Okay, now here's the fun stuff. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing because I'm kind of off to the side over here. I'm gonna take the lid off, of course. And with the help of your wax paper, you can pick this up or you can pick it up in your hand, however it is you need it to be. And you're just gonna lay it here. Okay, so some of this is gonna be perfect and some of it's gonna get cut off, and that's fine. So you don't want to use, again, the cut off sides, you just leave it there. And we're gonna take our top and just squish it down, basically. You're just gonna put it right on there, squish it down. And when you open this up, your little bars are gonna be cut. Now this one was almost perfect, but I'm still gonna remove it for now. Again, you can re-roll it and use it later. And this is one full cake mix box, so just so you know. So now I'm gonna lift these off, but just be careful. So I'm gonna lift this off. You kind of help pick that up. And this last one, we can just put it straight across the bottom here. So some of these are gonna be a little bit too long. I don't want to do that. Okay. And then you're gonna take the other strip and put it about halfway up. And the last strip can go kind of in the middle. I'm gonna redo these just a little bit. Okay. So now we're gonna take our top again. And you can start back here, kind of wherever this top matches up with the edge of your last set of dough there. And we're gonna push it down. And I'm gonna come around this other side so I can actually do this. And we're going to move it up, not all the way off the back, okay? Because then you're gonna drop some of your little cake pops out of there a few times. Now I'm not gonna do too much because I haven't, like I said, this is the first time I'm really trying out with a chocolate recipe on top of that, so I'm not sure. But I think that's good. We'll see what it looks like. Wow, and there they are. Look at that. So many, all done. Now, there are a few different problems you can run into, possibly your first time or second time or however many times you're doing it. This is pretty good. But sometimes you might be a little bit square, they might be a little bit oval. That means you had too much dough, maybe too little dough. You definitely need to watch Jennifer Heavenly Cakepop's troubleshooting videos, because she has all that. Like if they're falling apart, if they're squarish, if they're ovalish, you know, you might have put too much dough in the thing here, too little. She has all kinds of tips and tricks for that. So this is really good. So I'm pretty happy with these. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and chill them. So I'm just gonna take them off of here. I'm gonna put them on a tray with some wax paper. I'm gonna chill them for about 10 minutes so that we can get them dipped. Okay guys, so they've been chilled about 15 minutes. I already have some molded little mermaid pieces here. I'll have some information on those as far as the molds for those. These guys are ready to go. I do have some chocolate maker chocolate and turquoise color melted here. What I like to do before I thin it out, because obviously it's not dipping consistency, I like to leave it like this so I can just dip the sticks. So I'll be using sticks today and some dingle hoppers for the little mermaid look. So I have these are from the Dollar Tree. But basically I would just take a stick and I dip it when it's still thick like this. You can do whatever you like. If you want to thin it already, that's fine. I'm not going to pick these up. It doesn't even matter if this design of Cakepop, if they're perfectly round or not, or however. So I'm just going to take that. I'm not even going to pick these guys up. I'm just going to put them in there and I'm going to let them sit up just like that. Okay. So when I come back, they're going to be ready for dipping. Some people dip it and then dip, you know, and then put the stick in and go ahead right to dip, but do whatever you like. I'm just going to do this, give them a minute to set up, and then we'll dip them. And by the time I go to dip them, I'm going to reheat this just a little bit longer, and I'm going to add some Paramount crystals to help thin it out. That's this here. I ordered these on Amazon. You can get them different places. Wilton has their own, I forget what they call them, but like easy chips or easy thin chips, something like that. But so I'm going to dip and let these set up, and then we will dip them, and I'll probably have some music over that because my kids are going to be coming home from school, so there's going to be some noise in the background. So I'm going to go ahead and just decorate them for you guys. You can see what it looks like, and then we'll come back and talk about them. On them, some of them I placed some of the items while the dipping coating was still wet. Sometimes if the item's heavier, you really don't want to do that. So some of these I just let set up, and what I'm going to do is attach all these different little things just by adding a little bit of my icing to the back, and then just place it wherever you want and let that be like glue for you. Same thing with the tails, especially because they're so big. So what I would do is put quite a bit, once it starts firming up a little bit, the icing, put it on there. And then you can even put some on the stick if you need to. However it is that you want to put this like heavier items on, you can do that. So thank you so much, Heavenly Cakepops, for sending this for my review to use them in the future. So cute. I mean, it works up so easy. You know, there are some little tips and tricks you want to make sure to know. But they have a lot of information on the guide that comes with it. Lots of videos, so check them out. I'll have their links in the description box. Obviously the links to the shop and everything else. I'll have some pictures for you guys of these really cute mermaid pops. And I think I misspoke at the very beginning. I think I said the roller came with the 1.5 inch insert, but it does not. It comes with a 1 1/4 inch insert. You can purchase the 1 inch insert, a 1 1/2 inch insert, and then the cupcake insert separately. So again, they have a mini roller that does 9 at a time. And I'll have all those things for you. Think about different ways you can use it. You can use it to portion out cookie dough if you just use it the same way, and then when you lay the strips across, you can push it down again, and now you have little squares. Just roll them into circles, or just go ahead and make the dough balls like that, and you can use that for, you know, whatever recipe that you would like to start off with a dough ball like that. Bake it, if it's a cookie, granola bites, you know, meatballs. I mean, all kinds of appetizers you can make with it, portions. I think it's really great. So definitely keep an eye out. I will have more videos coming up in the future very soon with the cupcake, because I want to try that out for you guys. And thanks for watching. So once again, thank you so much, Heavenly Cakepops, for sending this for my review. I'll see you all at the next one. Bye now.